Hi guys, Miss Francis here. We know that DNA technology is reshaping medicine and the pharmaceutical industry. However, there are ethical implications that come along with this DNA technology. So, for example, PCR is a technique that can amplify small bits of DNA, which can help us detect otherwise elusive infections such as HIV. It's also possible to identify symptomless carriers using this PCR method for diseases such as hemophilia, cystic fibrosis, and muscular dystrophy. Techniques like gene therapy can change the DNA code that's altered or mutated to the correct code, and we can also use CRISPR as a form of gene therapy. Bone marrow cells, which include the stem cells that give rise to blood and immune system cells, are therefore prime candidates for this type of gene therapy. But the overarching ethical question is, should we interfere with evolution in this way? Isn't it like we are playing God in a sense? So from a biological perspective, the elimination of even unwanted alleles from the gene pool could backfire because genetic variation is a necessary ingredient for the survival of a species. Genes that are damaging under some conditions could be advantageous in other conditions, and we might be getting rid of these potentially advantageous genes. So, because scientists have recognized that there are ethical implications that are linked to these new types of DNA technology, it also raises important safety questions. So in response, scientists have developed a set of guidelines where strict lab procedures are designed to protect researchers from infection by engineered microbes and to prevent the accidental release of these engineered microbes. So some strains of these microorganisms that are used in recombinant DNA experiments are genetically crippled to ensure that they can't survive outside the laboratory. Furthermore, some dangerous experiments, such as human experiments, have been banned. But with all these new technologies, there are other ethical questions that need to be addressed. For example, who should have the right to examine someone else's genes, and how should that information be used? Is there such a thing as patient genetic therapist privilege, where whoever evaluates a person's genes is not legally allowed to share their genetic information? And should or can a person's genome then be a factor in suitability for a job, or maybe even be used against a person for determining their eligibility for life insurance? So all of these ethical issues and questions, these safety questions as well, must be addressed as we proceed with the power of DNA technology.